Hi guys, today I decided to record a video about safety features, or actually about the functionality of the chart plotter to send an SOS distress call. So I'm using Garmin chart plotter and most of the Garmin equipment on board, a part of an old Raymarine autopilot. What I have is a couple of Garmin GPSMAP chart plotters and then VHF radio, which is now turned off. However, it is connected through NIMIA network to all the other devices on the boat. But now the focus of this video would be about that SOS button. So what actually happens when you press it? As I've been talking to the other people on the water, so everybody has their own kind of interpretations what would happen, and they are very uncomfortable to press that button, thinking that now like the rescue services will be rushing to save your life. Actually, here I will demonstrate what actually happens when you press this SOS button on the Garmin GPSMAP. Of course, the versions could be, software versions could change in the future, but as of now, I'm running the latest version of GPSMAP on just chart plotter. So it looks like this. So you press that button, and what happens? Well, actually nothing happens. You just get this screen. Which shows your GPS coordinates and then the distress scenarios that you can choose from. So if I go back, like really nothing happened. So I now press the button again and I choose from one of those scenarios, and let's say, for example, fire. So now what happened in the background, it created a waypoint, flagged it as an SOS, and it shows me a script that I should transmit through on channel 16, like a regular Mayday call. It has like maybe just this indication that the ship is on fire because I chose the scenario fire. But otherwise, like if I switch to the chart, here I can, on this version, I can kind of choose some screen, so I have like some data details that might be handy, as well as I can see where I'm on the map, and you see this SOS mark is there, and that is the waypoint that it created the moment I pressed this fire button from the scenario list. So that's about it. Like here, there is nothing. There is no fire coming. There is no rescue coming to save me, and all that happened was that chart plotter created this waypoint. So if I see here on the top, like that waypoint, I can delete it, and basically I reset this back to the initial position. So this could be worth in your safety briefing on your boat when you have somebody coming in. So some of the people I noticed just say, well, if something happens, you just press that button and then rescue's on the way. Well, actually, no, nothing happens if your radio is off. So in my case, let's now turn the radio on. Let it boot up. That should not take long, right? We are now on. So I put it here, and now I press the button, SOS button, and actually again, nothing happened so far. Now I press fire, and you see I get a message on the top which says the DSA call details sent to the VHF radio. Check the radio to send the call. So basically, the chart plotter did not send any rescue calls. It just passed a formatted message to my radio, and on the radio it says that hold down distress button. So I need to open up this distress button, press this cover, press the button, hold it for the message to be actually sent out on this channel 70. So until I do that, nobody's aware that I have a distress. So that's the difference when the VHF is connected. Otherwise, if it is not connected but it's on, then you can press the distress button, kind of select manually the scenario from the list, confirm the GPS coordinates, and then kind of then again press this and hold the button to send out the the message. So, but that's like typically what you learn through on the VHF course, or just find out yourself, right? So now if I just cancel here, like I don't want to send the message, so I cancel and I go back, right? So if I mess up something on the radio, so I can repeat that transfer of the message to the radio, not out to the coast guards, but just to the radio, so that it would be ready to send. So then I can again press the red button. It again gives me the message that it has transferred the message to the radio. So again, it's ready to be sent. So if I hold the distress button, then it would send it. So really, I cannot by accident initiate this call from the chart plotter. Chart plotter will not actually transmit. It will only pass the information to the VHF radio, and you actually send the DSC message through the radio. So again, you should not be so intimidated to use your chart plotter, kind of to see like what are the functionalities, what you can do. However, if you do too many of those distress kind of activations here in the chart plotter, so you will get those waypoints created. So let's say I have one now that says SOS. Let's say if I go again and say there is flooding, then see there is another one appearing. So if I really have like too many of those, then the list will just pile up. So at some point I want to clean those up. Oops. And I just delete those. And that's it. So I go back to my initial position. So see, like really you should not be afraid of pressing the SS button, kind of get familiar with it, see what it does, and also like this red button here on the top. It doesn't mean that you would send out the distress call. It's kind of set up the DSC call so that it passes the formatted message to your VHF radio, and only with the VHF radio you can actually send it to the Coast Guards. So that was the purpose of this short video. So you get to maybe hopefully it answers your questions if you ever had around what actually happens if I press that DSC that SOS button. Yeah, so thanks, and see you again.